He made Kentucky fans sweat it out to the very last moment. Not the very last moment, but Otega Oweh, the 6'5" guard, announces that he will be back for Kentucky for his senior season. Like I said, the 6'5" guard out of New Jersey, he had a breakout year last year for Mark Pope in his first season. Was arguably Kentucky's best player. He put up 16 points a game, 4 rebounds, almost 2 steals a game. He was second team All SEC, and now he chooses to return back to Kentucky, making them a certified top 10 team, maybe even higher, depending on who you talk to. Probably a favorite to be a first team All American, preseason SEC Player of the Year. The move I think that everyone expected him to make, but took a little bit longer than I think people expected because Otega was getting great feedback, according to him and his camp, from NBA teams. But it all ends up with him ending up back in Kentucky, which is great news for Kentucky and Mark Pope. I'm sure they're ecstatic about this. Dion, I'll throw it to you for, I guess, what's your initial reaction to Oweh's decision to come back? Right choice, wrong choice? What do you think?
My first initial reaction, the video he posted, he still had dreads. So clearly this decision was made months ago. And I want to congratulate him on the free t-shirts because this was clearly a charade that he decided to do for a few months. Um, but the video, the video was probably made in like February based upon the way his hair looked. That was my initial reaction. Overall, I think it's the right choice. We're going to do a lot of these videos today. I'm not going to say that about everybody. I think Otega Oweh at one point last year, I probably jumped the gun, but I think I said, after somewhere in November, I said, this is a first round pick. I don't think he was being mocked that way. And I think part of the reason he wasn't being mocked that way towards the end of it was a little bit of how much of the extra offensive load he ended up having to take on. I don't think teams view him necessarily as that 16, 17 point per game scorer that he was at Kentucky. I think he's giving himself an opportunity to go back to Kentucky, still average that amount of points, still be that offensive force that he was last year, but with some of the extra scoring around him, whether it's Acquaintance, Jalon Lowe, even a Jasper Johnson, just some of the extra guys that can create their own bucket. He can do it in a manner that fits a role that NBA teams see him as, and I think they see him more as a 3 and D guy and getting a full season to view him within that, while also him being a first team All American. I think he gets back into the first round.
Yeah, and I mean Mark Pope has every turn this offseason, he's spoken about how he wants Otega to be a guy that shoots more threes this season, right? And I think that's kind of what NBA teams want to see as well, because that's going to be his role at the next level. He is going to have to be a guy who guards extremely well, and when he has the opportunity, he knocks down shots. And he needs to show that he can do that, and I think he will do that this season. And now, for Otega, I think it makes a lot of sense given kind of where he was projected to be picked. Like I know he was getting good feedback from these teams, but I didn't see any mock drafts with him and the first round or anything like that. So I'm sure he's going to get a nice payday from the NIL collective over Kentucky. He's going to be the alpha, and this is something that Mark Pope needed too, because one, Otega is extremely talented, but just 2 weeks ago we were doing a video and Mark Pope called Mo Diabate, the guy who's a new transfer from Alabama, as the leader of the team. Now you have your alpha, you have your leader in Otega. He's the one person kind of coming back well, not the one person coming back, but if they lost Otega, they lose 5 out of their 5 starters from last season. Now they have Otega back. He's going to be the guy. He even was quoted and I think he gave a quote to ESPN saying that my mindset is trying to be the alpha guy. I need to be the voice that leads the team. I'm one of the few guys that was there last year. I know the feeling of losing in the Sweet 16. I plan to lead this group this year. I'm sure that's great for Mark Pope to hear, and it's something that Kentucky needs. And to your point, Dion, we are going to do a good amount of these videos today where we are like, is this the right choice, wrong choice? Like, what are they doing? 100% the right choice, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like truly. I do obviously, given what's happened, believe I jumped the gun, but I don't believe I jumped the gun on him being a first round pick. This is a first round pick. With the injuries, he was forced to play a role I just don't see NBA teams viewing him as, and it hurt his draft stock. And his measurables aren't going to be great. Like he's not gonna show up to the combine and dominate a scrimmage. He's not gonna show up to the combine and wow you with his height or anything like that. So it's tape and it's interviews that you're going with when it comes with Otega, and he didn't have the opportunity to show them the tape they were looking for. He will this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a special year, I think, for Kentucky, and they got their guy back, even though they took it all the way up into the end there. I don't think Kentucky fans were ever truly stressing about this, but when it keeps going on like this, you keep getting um, quotes from Ortega about the feedback that he's getting. Thoughts start to creep into your head, but this is 100% the right choice, and I think now you'll see Kentucky, they're a certified top 10 team. I think some people had them outside the top 10 without Ortega. They have Otega back in the fold. They have this great transfer class of a bunch of guys. They got some good recruits coming in, obviously, with Jasper Johnson, Malachi Moreno, late add of Braden Hawthorne. It's looking to be a really good year for Kentucky, and now they can move forward and get right for the season. And I'm looking forward to talking preseason rankings officially, and also like preseason All-American stuff, because I'm sure we will be mentioning Kentucky, and we'll surely be mentioning Otega Oweh in those conversations as well.